So that's basically with, yeah, the 60-degree sextile from the moon conjunct Pluto retrograde over to Neptune retrograde in Pisces within the crescent phase. That's kind of like the soul's now understood intention to really comprehend this new evolutionary purpose in an individual way that is going to allow for oneself to contribute back to the collective in this new understanding of self. So now I'm going to talk about, this kite energy going on in your first and your seventh house with the nodes. And the north node is conjunct Uranus right here in Taurus. And Neptune retrograde is part of this kite. And it's making a trine over to the Sun and Mercury in Cancer. So this kite energy looks like it's kind of smoothly gliding towards this whole dynamic of your self, persona, past, and how it is aligning with a certain kind of partnership that's going to help liberate you in some sense. And it could be a karmic soul connection here that is going to help you understand more of, with the fifth house and, this energy that's going on with the nodes in your first and seventh, this is like really bringing out a new sense of your own self-identity, who you are, and it's going to be more understood. I feel like with the Sun and Mercury here in your ninth house, it's going to be just more understood symbolically, just with your gestures. It could be with emotional or even body language. Communication comes in many different forms. It doesn't have to be verbal, but with Mercury here with the Sun, you'll be able to really voice what it is that you need, or even teach in some way. There's just this new way to connect now that you have this new sense of who you are to some degree. So that part of you is evolving, okay? I feel like the soul is taking a, going through some sort of revolving door, and it's accelerating very quickly into some new evolutionary stage that is kind of changing the energy of your vibration and how you're perceived in community, and your spiritual beliefs are connected with it. So it's kind of equaling some sort of necessity that this is happening for your soul to give back to the collective in some way. It could be through teaching, and it also could be helping to liberate or innovate what it is with a partnership dynamic. So through this, you're kind of opening up some sort of idea, or this portal of energy where partnership can be more diverse and look and it can be looked at within the community in a more diverse and accepting way. It's liberating, it's freedom. And because it's with Capricorn and Cancer, it could be gender, that whole dynamic within partnership and marriage. So you could put the pieces together with that whole spectrum. And also with spiritual beliefs, how that's tied in, and the androgyny of self-identity, blending with the that's what it seems like to me, and Scorpio, the energy is already transformative, and here we are with you, Scorpio. So that's what I'm picking up from this kite energy. And then the grand trine here, let's see, is happening, of course, in the water houses, your first and your first, fifth, and your ninth. So your first, fifth, and ninth, this is where the trine, the grand water trine, is going on with your south node in your first house, Neptune retrograde, and your fifth house of Pisces, and the sun conjunct Mercury in the ninth house of Cancer. So this is going to be very therapeutic and healing for this transformation to happen. And when I say transformation, this is not a new word for you or a new term for you, but this is kind of transformation on a whole nother level. This is, it would be purification, and that would not be another new term for you. I'm sure you're very familiar as a Scorpio, rising sun, you know, with the, or even moon, with the term purification, but this is evolutionary growth, accelerated 2.0. You know, it's like, this is needing to happen. It's going to change your mind frame. It's going to change your emotions, help to balance. It's going to open up the new possibilities of what you're learning from, you know, you being who you are and being very carefree with the energy, and how that is really kind of bleeding into the collective and helping it in its own way. Getting away from the past identity with Cato in your first house, period, is going to be very healing for you. So that's what I'm going to say about the Grand Trine. And then the T-square here, we have, it's regarding your nodes, of course, the South Node in your first house, and again, the North Node conjunct Uranus in your seventh house, Taurus, and we have Saturn retrograde involved at 24 degrees, which is in your fourth house. So this is your roots here, your home, your ancestry, we're going to say, because we're really exploring the dynamic and the past history and the need to evolve and integrate what has been learned with Saturn retrograde through your fourth house. And in the sign of Aquarius, it wants to help liberate you from family dynamics, the way your family, even upbringing, even back to childhood, how they determined you as far as your role in society, or even your gender. And I keep bringing that. I feel like it's a gender thing. I mean, I know, you know, Scorpio, you are a transformative energy, and I'm transgender. And, like, I don't want my mind to keep going there, because this is not about me. But it feels like it's very connected with this whole, you know, gender influence of androgyny and the male and female principle and the patriarch and the matriarch. And here with Saturn retrograding through your fourth house, and Aquarius, of course, is an androgynous energy, and it's a liberating, innovative energy, and it's representing, when it rules over your fourth house, you know, say, for instance, for example, you could have grown up, you know, a certain gender, and that's not who you are anymore, but you're grown up, and you're still stuck in this mindset where you want to, it's like you subconsciously identify with your old self, just for, you know, you don't even know why you do this. It's just something that's conditioned, you know, as a child growing up, and you're not that person or that gender anymore. And Saturn retrograding through this area of your chart, with Aquarius ruling it, it's trying to liberate you and free you from, you know, these past conditionings of who you are. And I'm just using that as an example. That could be very much the case, your gender. Or it could be, you know, some other family dynamic, but it wants to put some structure and freedom, and it wants to also discipline you to understand what did you learn from all that, and how to move forward with how you grew stronger from the discipline, regarding anything that may have felt limiting, or that may have constricted your growth and held you to the past in some way, and you weren't able to innovate or have your own self-identity, or it made you feel alienated and you want to individuate yourself from the collective, but you also don't want to get lost when you do try to merge into social environments here. So that's what I'm getting from the T-square, because this is really hard energy. A T-square is, you know, it's all square energy, and it's very difficult. The release point here is in Leo. Again, needing to self-individuate, needing to be proud of who you are, be brave, have courage, and really march to the beat of your own drum. And, you know, be like, you know, as we learn in evolutionary astrology, be, you know, the youthful child that just acts spontaneous, and this is who I am, and you show up who you are, and nothing is thought out or planned out or contemplated about even who you are or who you identify. You just let your guard down and you be you. And you be proud, and everything that you have to show, you know, as far as you being a star, let it shine. You know, if you're a singer, sing. If you're a dancer, dance. Don't let anything restrict you, and allowing yourself to